We are getting the red on-air sign, which means we are live. We are in our showroom, and we're with a good friend of mine, Mr. Marc Okubo.
Hi.
Man, I love you, dude. I missed you, man. It's been a bit since we've hung out. I think we talked, and we saw each other at a show at Observatory. We hung after the show for about like an hour and a half, 2 hours. And then, you know, me being old, I was like, I got to go home and get some sleep, got to go to bed. And before that, it would have been 2020 NAMM.
Yeah, so that was like a 4-year gap then?
Yeah, that was like a lifetime ago, like NAMM, you know?
Wow. And
then you were here before NAMM, like around 18, like 2018. We were talking like 7 years it's been since you've been to the factory.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. So those of you guys that don't know, Mr. Okubo, amazingly talented guitar player, the brains and guitarist of Veil of Maya, and you've been playing with, like, I guess people may have heard of the band. What band are you playing with right now?
Falling in Reverse.
Falling in Reverse, man. That's pretty crazy. And so you guys are playing some pretty big shows.
Yeah, pretty big shows. Yeah.
And you've played, if you guys don't know Marc or know his career, he, 6 and 7 string player, 8 string with Falling, amazing on the trem, just some of the sickest stuff you're ever going to hear. If you just want to take a dive into the dynamics of Marc, put on some Pool Spray from Veil, rock out to that. It's one of my favorite songs. I love it. And Marc has helped out with so many bands. You've toured with Volumes, you've toured with Dance Gavin Dance.
Yep.
What other bands have you helped out along the way?
Don Broco.
That's right.
And Bad Wolves, and now Falling in Reverse. I'll be doing that for as long as I can, for sure. Like,
that's awesome. Yeah, so the talent level, that Marc brings, and the diversity, and being able to learn the stuff, like, what does it take you, to be comfortable when you get some tracks? Like, are you a couple days, a couple weeks to learn like a track where you're like, oh, I got this in front of 20,000 people?
Well, I wouldn't say it's easy, but in a lot of these situations, I've had like a day or two to kind of learn a headlining set, and then it's not easy. I wouldn't say like that, but the way I think about it is I can speak the language fluently, but like I'm memorizing somebody else's speech, so it doesn't like really get harder to play like any band. It's not easier or harder for any band particularly. It's more so like just memorizing the whole speech, like from front to back.
Man, that's a great analogy. It's crazy. Like, I've watched these things happen, and all of a sudden it's like you're taking on these new responsibilities, even playing in 2 bands in one show. I've seen you do that too.
Oh yeah.
That's nuts, man. Because you and Veil and DGD toured together, right?
Yeah.
And you played both sides of that.
Well, yeah, that happened because like it was like right while COVID was still happening.
Yeah.
So like if members got sick, like we would kind of swap around to like help Dance Gavin Dance continue or like finish the tour. But I think back in maybe 2008, I played guitar for Veil and then bass for Stick to Your Guns. And that by the end of that tour, my neck was just destroyed. Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. Well, this is your opportunity to ask, Marc a question. Obviously we'll do the normal Q&A too. So if you have a question for me, that's great. Marc, you've been with us now. Lee introduced us. We met several times, and I just had this like good connection with you. And then I remember it was like, hey, let's build some guitars. And so I think that's going back to 15 was when we started working together. Would that have been right? 15 or 16?
I think that's when we met, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know when we started, when I officially crossed over.
It was 17
Yeah,
then.
17 is like, that was like a big, that was a big deal.
I know we were, well into Kiesel, where my relationship with Lee started back before we were, brand name switched. And he was actually the very first signature artist that, adopted the Kiesel name when I, had to call everybody and say, hey, this is what we're doing. And Lee was like, I'm in. So
that was a big deal for sure.
Yeah, it was crazy. But 10 years later of Kiesel, here we are. We I got to walk Mark around and show him some of the new ways we're building guitars and see a lot of new stuff here.
It's very exciting. Yeah. I can't believe all the improvements, and I don't know, everything's so sick now.
That's awesome. Well, what do you guys want to know? What can myself or Mark answer for you? This is your time to ask what you want to know. And it doesn't have to be guitar related. Mark is a foodie, big time. So I always love hearing what Mark has to say about food. And, I know when we would go out to ramen before, just dig in some ramen. And we got to get some great grub tonight. We'll have to figure out where we're going to go. Mark's staying at the pad. And so we'll figure out what we're going to do tonight.
Awesome.
We did some Indian food last night. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, it was pretty dope.
First question is going to be, Mark, why don't you usually have inlays on your guitar?
Ooh, I just think it looks sick without it. I don't know. Makes it look like I know what I'm doing, maybe. But I don't know. I've been doing that since like '08 or something, and I just prefer it that way. I think it looks clean and like just less clutter is kind of the way I like guitars. So.
Next question is, what is your favorite food spot to eat on tour?
Ooh,
on tour?
That's a great one.
Like a chain or something, or just in general?
He just asked what's your favorite food spot in general on tour?
Well, I guess I try and get recommendations based off of whatever area we're playing in. There's actually Christian, the other guitar player for Falling, he put me on the spot in, I think, Detroit, Michigan, called Grandma Bob's, and it's like a vegan deep dish pizza place. It was amazing. It was super good.
Damn.
That sounds good. Next question is, what is your songwriting process, and what also is your process for learning new songs on tour? I guess those are both two kind of long questions.
With writing, it could go a number of different ways. And it also depends on the project. There's definitely certain veil parts where I would make a drum pattern first, and then maybe add notes to it afterwards. Or there's a kind of like a way I started writing later on was writing parts on piano roll, like on a DAW, and then learning how to play it on guitar afterwards, so that I don't get stuck in the box of positions that I go to every time I pick up a guitar and stuff like that. So and then a lot of time I just I'll hear it in my head first, or I'll try and hum it first, and then I'll try and play it on guitar or something like that. I usually try not to fall into the same formulas or the same shapes, because how everyone picks up a guitar and it's just like dun 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 dun, dun, everyone just sits like an open string. I try to have an idea before I get to that point, and then so I don't just end up doing the same thing every time. And then for learning songs, I have been kind of using AI a little bit sometimes to I know Logic put in a feature to split every song into stems, so I could take out the vocals or isolate the guitars really quickly, and then I could just reverse engineer it, or I have a pretty good ear, so I can usually learn things by ear very quickly. But yeah, those are. I think that answers both questions, right?
It's awesome.
All right, here's one that's probably going to be from a bunch of people. This is from Andrew. He's saying, do you have any future plans for Veil of Maya?
Yes, I would like to continue Veil of Maya but yeah, there's just a few other things that need to be set into place before that can move forward. So and that's outside of my control. So I'm waiting for those things to get finished, and then we'll take it from there.
We got a question from Eric. He says, what's your take on active pickups versus standard passive pickups?
Well, my playing style has been mostly based around active pickups. I think I got EMG 8185. I got that for Christmas when I was a sophomore in high school or something. And so a lot of my progression was kind of based off the response that those pickups gave me. There's definitely like benefits to having passive pickups depending on like what kind of style you're playing and what your amp settings are. So it kind of just depends on that as well. Like if I plugged in a passive pickup guitar into my current amp situation, it probably would need a lot of adjustments. I'd have to like make different tones per each guitar. But there's definitely benefits to passive for like clarity and chords and stuff like that and dynamics. But I prefer active, honestly.
Hey, what do you think of that thorium you were playing through earlier?
Oh yeah, the new Kiesel pickup. I had never played out of those until today, and they sound awesome. That's like it's everything I wanted for sure. So very excited about that.
We got a question from Jeffrey. They're asking, can you explain the tone on Common Man's Collapse? Big fan of Veil of Maya, but struggled to get that Sumerian style tone of that era.
Well, both. Actually, yeah. So Michael Keane recorded that album, and he also recorded the Faceless. Like he plays guitar in the Faceless, and he also recorded the Born of Osiris, the New Rain album, and those were all within the same like maybe 2 years or so. So I think we all use the same in recording style, and it was I think it was like a Line 6 Beta, or is that what they're called? You know what I'm talking about? There's a Line 6. It was like a digital head, and I think it was called a Veda 2 or something. And then there was a patch on there called Big Bottom, and I think that's what all three of our bands, we all recorded with that. And then, yeah, like I remember that specifically is really, really bass heavy, but I guess it's called Big Bottom, so like that would make sense, right? So
That's rad.
Who inspired you to play guitar?
I don't know. I think like when I was like a little kid was when like Nirvana was kind of popping off and taking over, and so like I liked like Nevermind by Nirvana, and then I think Deftones and Korn came out like shortly after that, and like Rage Against the Machine so like back in the day there is like in magazines there is these BMG music order things where it's like you buy one CD and you get like 12 free, and like my dad just wanted one CD or something, and then he let me pick all the rest of them, so I got like the first 2 Korn albums, Deftones' first album, first 2 Rage albums. I think in Nirvana I got all those like the same day, and then that was my Bible for like my early
Sensory
years.
overload, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I think originally I wanted to play drums, but my parents said it was too loud or something, and then I kind of just switched to guitar, I guess.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
I love it.
Do you have any pre-show rituals?
Actually, with Falling in Reverse, it's very, very chill before we go on. We don't like really have a ritual. If you come to a show, you'll see like the show usually starts, or it started every time I've been there, with of the camera coming into the green room and then showing all of us just walking to the stage, and it's literally as natural as that. Like we're just hanging out, like watching YouTube and talking about stuff, and then we just go straight to stage, like no warm-ups, no vocal rest or none of that. It's just
Damn.
you just chill and go straight to stage.
0 to 10, man. I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. That's rad.
For someone who hasn't heard Veil of Maya before, where would you recommend they listen to first?
Well, I guess I would recommend the Matriarch album if you're like someone that's never heard of the band. But if you're more of a death metal fan, or if you're into death metal at all, I would say the Common Man's Collapse. So those 2 albums in particular are the ones that I would recommend.
Derek asked, did you choose the Thug Life or did the Thug Life choose you?
The Thug Life chose me for sure.
If you were ever to make solo style music, what type of stuff would you do?
Well, I guess there's a few different ways I could answer that. I mean, I have some kind of secret stuff in the works that like I don't want to spoil. I was showing you a little bit of it. Yeah,
I'm excited about it. Yeah.
like I don't know how to describe it, but I guess my latest obsession has been K-pop. If you guys didn't know, but it's not for the reasons you would think. I guess that's what I tend to listen to these days. So like something that would share elements, maybe melodically or rhythmically with that, but. Yeah, I don't know. You'll have to see.
What specs on a guitar are a must-have for you?
Well, I guess I'm a big fan of not having any fret markers on the fretboard. I like humbuckers with active pickups. There cannot be a tone knob on my guitar. That is that would kind of ruin everything for me. And I'm also a big fan of floating bridges and I guess the locking tuners for the floating bridge. So yeah.
Yeah, and you get typically jumbo frets. Like all your guitars are going to have jumbos.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Typically stainless with us, but
Yeah.
and then thin necks. Like all your guitars, we automatically do a thin neck for you.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, no. It's sometimes it's easy, for me to jump in and kind of help on that one. And then a lot of times either a tongue oil or like a satin back of the neck. We've done some satin necks for you too.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
Just the smooth play.
And I'd say the features that I said were talking more on like a metal style thing. Like if I was playing with Dance Gavin Dance, the specs would be a little different just based off because like there's so much clean playing and dynamics that like you kind of have to have like a warm like full sound for that as well. So like
Yeah, and I think we did beryllium pickups for the CS6s, right, Brandon?
Yeah, we did a CS. It was
pink
satin
one?
light pink.
yeah,
Yeah.
I love that guitar so much.
And he just had 2 volume knobs, no tones.
No tones,
And he'd
yeah.
do the Will Swan trick. So he'd flip to the other pickup with the volume knob rolled down to get his clean sound.
Yeah. So like that Will said like I guess like a lot of people did that back in the 70s, but like instead of using a foot switch, they would just play on the dirty channel and then have the volume knob rolled back on the rhythm pickup, so you could just switch the rhythm pickup if you wanted a clean tone.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
What guitars are you using with falling in reverse?
Yeah. Oh, you could help with this one.
You have the Steph 8.
The Steph 8 for all the 8-string songs, which is like half of it. They call it snow, right?
Yeah, Snow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then for the 6-string songs, there was a guitar that you guys sent me during the pandemic. I don't really know.
You
what
remember
exactly
which one that
called.
would have been, Brandon?
It was a 6-string. It was like a gray and black kind of top, but like a kind of a fancy top on it.
Isn't that one of your models that just with like a crazy top on it?
Yeah, I think it is.
I
Oh,
think
yeah,
it's like
that's what it is. It's a
Burl one.
poplar burl
Yeah,
with
yeah.
like a trans black Cali.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what I use for the 6-string songs.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I think you have like a couple, like an Onyx guitar, like a Vader that we did, like a bolt-on Vader, and a few other things. But
Yeah. So the black and gold one is my backup for the 6, and then the swirl 8-string one is the other backup.
yeah,
for
that's a. Was that a Osiris, I think, or a Zeus?
that. I think maybe a Zeus.
A Zeus, yeah. And it was the black, pink, and Kiesel Racing Green swirl, multi-scale 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's a good segue into the next question. What's your guitar rig for falling in reverse?
Ooh, so they were using like amps and pedals to do like tuning changes and stuff. Like there's a few of those in the set, sometimes in the middle of songs. I had recently bought a Quad Cortex, the Neural DSP Quad Cortex, and then was doing my changes on that. And as soon as they saw that, they bought 6 more for the band, and then we automated all the patch changes with MIDI. So now nobody has to tap dance anymore, and we could just play the set just with our guitars. You don't have to worry about very much at all. It's really, really easy. So yeah, I think I use the Quad Cortex with the 5153 amp on there. And yeah, that's as far as I know. Yeah.
Do you have a number that you typically set your action to, or you just have it set to what feels good?
Do you ever adjust your action on the guitars?
No.
Do you have a tech at all even adjust the truss rod ever?
I do that myself sometimes. I do have a guitar tech with falling in reverse, but with Veil, I would always do it myself. And I guess like what I learned how to do is put my pinky on the 24th fret, and my pointer finger on the 1st fret, and just see if I could push down on the 12th fret and like maybe fit like a guitar pick right in the middle.
Yeah, you just want a little bit of bow.
Yeah.
Do you have to adjust your guitars very often when you're on tour?
No, not really.
Have you seen any, sorry guys, have you seen any like change with that? Like as time has gone on, have like the newer builds you've gotten, or do they seem like they're holding stability better or anything?
Yeah, actually, I think they every newer guitar I've gotten gets better and better for sure. But I think when I first got my first guitar, I was living in Chicago, obviously, and then the winters, I don't know like if I was home or not, but like I think it got really, really cold, and it could have changed like more with like which happens to any guitar, but like yeah, all I had to do is just adjust the truss rod back to get that little thing, and then it was fine.
Well, that's good. That's good to hear. It's something I sometimes forget to ask, about like how, things are. Cause it's like, sometimes it's like, I don't hear about it. And
yeah, well, I'm not, I don't have any problems with any of my guitars. So
that's good.
There's that.
That's awesome.
Just if I change tunings, that would be like the big thing, because I use the floating bridges. So I just have to, take the back off and then screw in the screws.
Change the spring tension.
To make sure that, the bridge is level to the body.
Yeah.
Derek says, I recently ordered an 8-string thorium. How would you describe the characteristics of the pickup?
So that was the one that you just listened to for the first time yesterday when we plugged you into that Buckeye guitar.
Yes.
And then, so you can tell them what you think of that.
Well, for what I noticed is it was, I was playing on the Fishman Fluence pickups for a while before that, and I think it had some kind of similar qualities to that. One of the things I noticed with the Fishman ones is that they're extremely hot, so I'd have to like lower the pickups a lot and maybe roll down the gain, and I think that the thoriums kind of handle a lot of that already, so it had a lot of clarity to it, but it had the gain and the attack that I like from the Fishman. So like I'm really excited about these pickups, and like I can't wait to try them in the live rig and stuff.
That's cool. Oh yeah.
Do you like headless guitars?
I used to not like them at all, to be honest. But I needed 8-string guitars for Falling in Reverse, and I love the Stefan Snow thing. It's one of the coolest looking guitars ever. Now that I've adjusted to it, and I just think that it's so unique. Like I like the all white aspect of it. I think that guitar is really, really sick, and like that's pretty much the only 8-string that I know how to play at the moment. But when I first saw them coming out, I thought they kind of looked like Star Trek or something, and like like I came from more of like a metal background where I wanted to, or like maybe like a hardcore kind of like wanted to just see stuff that looked like, I don't know, tougher, edgier. But I think they're growing on me now that I've been playing the Steph guitar. So.
Yeah, I remember when Mark, I got the message from Mark. He's like, hey, I got this, this opportunity, I need some mates. I'm like, yeah, no problem. And so I remember like, hey dude, I got, a couple of these guitars. What do you think? And Mark was like, do you have anything with headstocks? And I'm like, not right now. I don't, dude, I'm sorry. And then I sent him, Steph's guitar, and then, one of Steph's signatures, and then that swirl guitar. And then you ended up like hitting me up like, dude, this snow guitar is dope.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that guitar.
So it was like literally by, us not having anything in stock at the moment, that ended up with that. Well, that's actually, I got to back up. That's actually not true, because you would have ended up with that guitar. That was actually your guitar regardless, because Mark introduced me and Steph. So that's how we, met each other. And when we worked, the details out and brought Steph on, he said, hey, make sure Mark gets one of these guitars. I'm like, of course, and so I had it. And what was funny when Mark hit me up, I'm like, well, I got this 8 still here for you, so I can definitely send you this one. And I sent you that swirl one too. So yeah, it's kind of cool.
It's perfect. And now like that I've tried an 8 with a headstock, I'm like so used to the Steph guitar that like when I was playing the 8 with the headstock, looking down, like my eyes started seeing the frets slanting and like started tripping me out a little bit. Because I've only played the multi-scale one.
The fan fret, yeah.
So now I prefer the headless when it comes to 8 strings. So.
And multi-scale.
Yeah, multi-scale. Yeah.
That's crazy.
We got a question from Emil. He's asking, do you change your strings before every show?
Well, with Falling in Reverse, we have a guitar tech, or I have my own guitar tech actually, and I think he probably does it like maybe every few shows. With Vale, I would go 3 shows max before changing strings, but I like to sometimes, like, I consider changing the strings to be like my warm up, and then like kind of zens me out a bit. But yeah, it's just scary to not with Vale, because I was the only guitar player, or I'm the only guitar player currently, and so if I break a string, then that's it for a second, for a few seconds at least.
Here's an interesting question from Steve. He's asking, was it easier to go from 6 strings to 7 strings, or 7 strings to 8 strings?
I'm still not used to 8 strings. I could play Falling in Reverse songs, but I can't like just start ripping on it. So I would say when I first switched to 7 strings, I think it took maybe 3 weeks or so of touring for it to feel like home. And I would say 6 to 7 was easier for me personally. 8 I'm still working on.
Are you planning on re-recording any of the early Veil of Maya?
Honestly, I have been thinking about it quite a bit. I'm wondering maybe if it would be cooler to get the old ones remixed, or if it'd be cooler to completely re-record it with better everything. So I don't know. What do you guys think? But yes, I have been considering it, yeah.
Seth is asking, what's your favorite tuning to write in?
Dropped. I guess most of my life I've been playing in dropped B. With the 7 string, I drop an F sharp on top of the drop B. So that's my most comfortable tuning. But yeah, and then with the 8 string, I tuned a drop E flat, so it's just tuned standard, but then the E flat like an octave lower. So yeah, I prefer dropped because my chord vocabulary is kind of based around the wide intervals like that, and that's what I'm used to now.
Also, the votes are already coming in. People are saying to re-record it.
Re-record? Honestly, that I kind of agree, because some of the bass and whatnot could be much better. And
We were just listening to that earlier.
Yep.
What is your favorite thing about Kiesel?
Wow, that's
On the
like
spot.
the hardest question. Yeah.
I thought they were asking me.
Ooh, I got one. How about the people? Yeah, I love the people. I love hanging out here. It's crazy that I haven't been here in so long, because there's been so many vast improvements, and it's just cool watching everyone grow. And I mean, everything is just significantly improving so much, and it's it was already good to begin with. So, but yeah, just being around the people that are here is the most comforting thing, and like really feels like home, you know. And you guys give good people a chance, and you you help people out that aren't always like in the best position, and it's just like it's very, very nice, and it's an honor.
Well, the honor's ours, brother. Yeah, it's like that's been the biggest thing. We want to align ourselves with the right people, the right attitudes, and you know, we've done relationships in the past with people, and it hasn't worked out, and usually there's a reason, and you know, we just really value our relationships, and it's, you know, it's so important to us, man. It's what it's all about. And even we've had people like me and you talk last night. We've had people where some things like they've maybe left us, and I'm still over here helping them out, doing things, and Mark's like, dude, you got to stop doing that, man. You're too nice sometimes. And he's probably right, but that's just how I roll. I try to do the right thing and try to help people out as much as I can and just be there for them. If we've done things for people, loaned guitars out and gotten no credit, no mention. I mean, there's been a lot of huge guitar players that hit us up and get our guitars, and, you know, they have their signature model with some other brand, and they're making, you know, tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars a year with their brand that they're with, and they're playing our guitars more than their signature models with their brand. And it's okay, you know. I'm fine with it, you know. I'm still happy to have the relationship. So we have a lot of great relationships people don't know about and we never talk about, you know, but it's okay.
Yeah, even the way that you put that was so nice. Like I was gonna put it like, and then they come crawling right back.
Not always. Sometimes we get, you know, an opportunity, and other times not. But you know, I just really, I don't know, man. It's like I get to work with some amazing people, amazing bands, and I just feel so lucky to be able to do that. So if I can do something, and even if maybe I shouldn't, I still try to always do the right thing. And you know, so maybe at my own fault sometimes. And not saying I always do the right thing. I fuck up too, you know. I'm human.
I mean, yeah, I think it's great. Like,
All right, here's a fun one. What was your first guitar you ever got from Kiesel?
ooh, it was like kind of beige, yellowish, 7-string. What model was it? Was it DC?
It was a DC.
I honestly forgot about that one.
Yeah, it was a DC 700. Yeah, 700 with the...
Like a maple neck?
Yeah, did it have the Kiesel trim? It probably would have.
I think it did.
Yeah, it was, because it
a
wouldn't have
hip
been.
shot.
It would have been. Yeah, it would have been after the Floyd Rose thing
Yeah.
when we well, no, we were probably still offering the Floyds at the time, but yeah, it would have been the Kiesel trim just because of the flutters that you do. I mean, they just work so fucking great.
Yeah, that guitar's in Chicago currently.
Is it?
I know exactly where it is.
That's rad. Yeah, I remember that one, man. Damn.
All right, we're just at about 35 minutes. Let's do 5 more questions.
5 more questions.
What's your favorite thing to play to warm up the fingers?
I go like, dun, dun. No, I don't know.
Do you even warm up, or you just rip?
I don't really warm up.
He just rips. That's
yeah,
it.
like I guess like if anything, I would like to test. I mean, if we're talking about a guitar I've never played before, like I would like maybe go up and down a scale or something like that.
Yeah, just check for any like fret buzz or
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
Neck straight and true.
Yeah, like I don't know. Like there's times where I forget that I know how to play guitar, you know, and then like, but it's just it's to me, it's always been like seeing people that are good at like Call of Duty or something like that. It's just like something that I kind of know how to do, and then I just kind of force myself to be able, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not much of a warm up guy, to be honest.
What string gauges do you use for drop B?
12 to 56.
What is your favorite Kiesel guitar that you have?
Well, it depends on what I'm using it for. So like this one, obviously, if I was going to play a Veil Maya song, this is the guitar that I would use, or a variation of this. But then for Dance Gavin Dance, or for like clean stuff, that's the pink one? What's
The
that called?
CS6, the California
CS6,
single cut.
Yeah. That guitar is so sick. And then for H string, it's the Steph, the Snow. I love that guitar. So,
and that's cool because like you have so many ways of like getting an instrument and then using it for a purpose. It's like the AC26. Mark was checking out our either nylon or steel string acoustic, and we're gonna end up building one for Mark. And I can't wait to hear what you do with that.
Oh yeah, that's exciting because on every nylon guitar I've ever played, like you can't really, like the necks are so like fat or whatever. I can't use my chord vocabulary, and then like to have it like kind of like in a shape of an electric guitar, like it's just like you make all these new sounds that like haven't traditionally been done on that kind of instrument. So yeah, I'm excited to see what I could do, but I'm excited to see what everyone can do on it. Like,
Yeah.
What is some funny stories you can share from tours?
that I can share.
Yeah, because I'm sure you got some that
I've been touring for like 20 years about almost. So like, I don't know off the top of my head. That's kind of crazy to think about. That one's really hard to answer at the moment, I would say. But I guess like the most memorable at the moment was just being like literally on the way home from the last Veil Maya tour that happened and getting the phone call to play for Falling. Like that was just so crazy. And then like I didn't have a guitar with me for the ride, so like I just had to just drill the songs and try and memorize as much as I could to like kind of go to the audition like the day after I got home or something like that. And then I was just off on a plane like maybe 2 days after that. And then I didn't have the H strings until like 2 days later. And then
yeah, you hit me up and you're like, hey, I'm like, no problem, we got you.
Yeah, so that all happened really quick, and that's like, my life has changed a lot since that day.
And it's funny too, because like Mark's like, hey, do you think maybe I could like borrow like an 8-string or something? Wasn't like, hey, I need these now and they got to be here. It's like, yeah, dude, we got you. It's just like he's like got this opportunity for a very high profile band, and great opportunity for him, for us. And just being like the coolest, most chill person ever about it. And, that's one of the things I love about Mark. He's just like the nicest person. Like, and he's amazing. Yeah.
All right. Then last question to wrap this up. Are you currently working on any new music?
Yes. Yeah. That's pretty much, like all I've been doing lately. But I mean, I have been getting hit up to write for a few different projects. I can't really talk about what, but just be on the lookout. And then like as I was saying earlier, I still plan on having Veil of Maya be a band. So like whenever we can get back to work, that will happen. And I'm waiting on that just as much as everybody else is.
That's awesome. So, for more information on Mark, check out his Instagram. Still Mark Eats Food?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mark with a C.
Yeah, Mark with a C, Eats Food. I'm still off Instagram, so if anybody was following me or you can't find me, I didn't like block you. I didn't unfriend you. I turned my Instagram off a little over 3 years ago. And I was sharing with Mark yesterday that it's been kind of a bummer for me because I feel like I miss out on a lot of really great things with social media. I mean, I definitely am able to focus more here and have a little higher quality of like control of like anxiety and things that I deal with.
Yes. Yeah.
Without it, but I do miss out. Like even though I'm like part of like, involved somewhat with what you guys got going on, it's just like I feel like I miss out on a lot of these really cool things. So I do feel like I'm missing out So I am going through like the struggle bus right now.
Oh no, I mean, well, when it comes to falling in reverse, for example, like I didn't even post about it until the very last show of the first tour.
Oh, and it's not even that. It's just like you would post like cool things, and I'd see what you were doing, and Lee and all the homies, and it's just like
I'll just start texting you more.
Yeah, dude. I'm like in my own lane. Like I got my blinders on, and it's like I just feel like disconnected. I feel disconnected from you guys too, customers and stuff, and fans, and the cool people that help us do what we do. So maybe I'll pop in on the Kiesel account once in a while and spam you guys with a little bit of stuff. But thanks guys for hanging out. Check Marc's stuff out. Definitely follow him. Keep up to what he is doing. He is an amazing person, amazing guitar player, and we are lucky to have him in our lives. And I'm so thankful that you were able to do this live with us and take time out of your schedule.
Of course, man. Thanks.
Come eat some food together. That's like, I'm like, let's get the hell out of the shop. Let's go eat some food. Let's go chill. We had some drinks last night, and
we
drank a little bit last night, so it was cool. Watched the Lakers win, thankfully.
Yeah.
But on that note, we're out. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.